So you've heard of dyslexia, the disability where words get jumbled around and sometimes it's really hard to read. Yeah, that's dyslexia, and everybody knows about that. But there's a form of dyslexia that pertains only to math. Did you know that? Well, if you didn't, you're going to learn about it today. Today's lesson, dyscalculia. So what is dyscalculia? Wow, that's a fun word. Well, it's a form of dyslexia for math. Dyscalculia is a learning disorder that affects a person's ability to do math. Much like dyslexia disrupts areas of the brain related to reading, dyscalculia affects brain areas that handle math and number-related skills and understanding. Symptoms of this condition usually appear in childhood, but adults may have dyscalculia without knowing it. So, in order to understand what it's like to have dyscalculia, we have to understand what it's like to have dyslexia. So, take a moment and look at this. Do you think you'd be able to figure it out? If the answer is no, then now you have a better understanding of what it's like to have dyslexia. Because dyslexics have a difficult time reading things like this. Can you imagine trying to learn this way? So now we're going to take a look at what it's like to have dyscalculia. So with dyscalculia, it's a little bit more difficult because you don't necessarily mix up words or phrases. You can understand those, and many students with dyscalculia will do fine in reading comprehension and language arts classes. But when it comes to numbers, things get mixed up. They sometimes turn the numbers around, they reorder the numbers, and that's not because they're doing it, it's because their brain is doing it. With dyscalculia, numbers get turned around, steps get forgotten, and forget about trying to recall multiplication facts because they all get jumbled in your head anyway. So imagine trying to answer a question like this when you have dyscalculia. If each block in Jeremy's neighborhood was 10,000 square feet and Jeremy walked 2 blocks south and 1 block east to get to the convenience store, how many total feet did Jeremy walk? Now, it seems like a pretty straightforward question, right? And the student that's reading it, if he has dyscalculia, he has no problem reading the problem. The only problem is when he tries to solve it. So if you have dyscalculia, it might look something like this when they read it. Each block in Jeremy's neighborhood was 1,000 square feet, and Jeremy walked 1 block south and 2 blocks east to get to the convenience store. How many feet did Jeremy walk in total? Notice some slight differences here, especially with the 1,000 square feet. It's actually now become 10,000. And instead of walking 2 blocks south, it's 1 block south. And instead of 1 block east, it's 2 blocks east. Yeah. Although the words are completely fine, it's the numbers that get turned around. And setting up the problem, well, for a regular student would look like this. You have it broken down into individual steps. Step one is you have to find the side length of each block. And if the area of a block is 10,000 square feet, you simply find the square root of 10,000, which is 100. Step two, you find out how far Jeremy walked. So if he walked 2 blocks south, that's 2 times 100 equals 200 feet. He then walked 1 block east. That's 1 times 100, which is 100 feet. And then you add the total distance. 200 plus 100 equals 300 feet. So the answer, Jeremy walked 300 feet total. But for somebody suffering from dyscalculia, step one, you find the side length of each block. The area of a block is 10,000 square feet. So you find the square root. But because you have dyscalculia, 10,000, the square root of which is 1,000. Or no, 10, or maybe it's 100. Find how far Jeremy walked. Well, because you can't remember if it was 1 or 2 blocks south or east, you might write 1, no, 2, no, 1 block south. 1 times 100 is 1,000 feet. He then walked 1, no, 2 blocks east equals 2 times 100 is 200 feet. The total distance is 200 plus 1,000, which equals 3,000 feet. So Jeremy walked 3,000 feet total. It's just a whole mess of stuff going on there. And that's because with dyscalculia, they're trying to recall the steps and trying to put all of those numbers in the correct order and right sequence, and they're just not able to do it. So now you're probably thinking, well, wow, this is just really depressing. How can we help students like this? Well, easy. Visuals. Visuals, these can help eliminate the barrier of trying to recall the steps from memory, and it gives the student a visual guide. So having those steps written down, they don't have to go back into their brain to remember it, and they can look at the steps and compare it to their work and see if it's the same steps that they're doing. It also eliminates some of those barriers, but it won't eliminate all of them. That's where repetition also comes into play too. But with visuals like these, it definitely can help you because you can see the visuals of what hundreds look like, what tens, what ones look like. You can see the visual of what a ruler looks like and what each little tag on the ruler or each little line on the ruler represents. And then with two-step equations, you can actually see the steps and what you do in each step. You can use that to help figure out what is my next step. So visuals are probably the best option for students with dyscalculia, but it's not the only option. And if you'd like to learn more about some of the other options and strategies that students can use to overcome dyscalculia, feel free to do some research on your own because there's a lot of tools and strategies out there that can help these students. And if you think your kid does have dyscalculia, talk to their teacher because there are tests that they can do to determine whether or not they have it or not. Now, if you liked what you saw, you learned something new, or you're new to the channel, please click that like button. And if you want updates on future videos, feel free to click the subscribe button and ring the bell for updates on future videos. And as always, if you have questions or comments, or there's a particular topic in special ed that you would love for me to cover, by all means, drop a line in the comments section and I'd be happy to talk about it. And until next time, class dismissed.